What drives a man to reshape global communication, build multiple billion-dollar companies, and continually reinvent himself? Is it intelligence, timing, relentless discipline, or is there a deeper numerical pattern guiding his journey? Today on Dom's Noms, we're exploring the life of Jack Dorsey. We'll be comparing his biography, his entrepreneurial journey, and his Dom's Noms number profile and life graph to uncover the hidden rhythm behind one of technology's most enigmatic founders. So let's really dive into this question. We're going to look at whether his massive success is purely a product of relentless discipline or if there is a deeper, underlying numerical rhythm at play here. Today, we're exploring both. Here is how we'll break it down today. First, the visionary's early life. Then, building global communication networks, followed by reinventing decentralized finance. After that, we'll shift gears into unlocking the number profile, navigating the life graph cycles, and we'll wrap up with lessons in relentless transformation. Section 1. The visionary's early life. Born on November 19, 1976, in St. Louis, Missouri, Jack Dorsey developed an early, almost obsessive fascination with maps, city systems, and real-time coordination. And this wasn't just some passing hobby. At just 15 years old, he actually wrote dispatch software to coordinate fleets of taxis and delivery vans. That software was so incredibly robust, it remained in use for decades. By the year 2000, he took this to the next level, starting a company to offer that dispatch software over the internet. You can already see the foundation being laid for connecting people efficiently. And although he did attend university, he eventually left to pursue these ideas, firmly believing that real-world innovation was his true classroom. Section 2. Building global communication networks. That underlying fascination with real-time systems seamlessly transitioned into his most famous creation. On March 21, 2006, he sent out a radically simple 140-character message, "Just setting up my Twitter." And just like that, Twitter was launched. The idea was to easily share your status so friends instantly know what you're doing. But that simple concept became one of the most influential communication platforms in history, fundamentally altering global politics, journalism, and social activism. Despite some periods of fierce criticism and leadership changes, his vision permanently changed how information travels across the globe. But you know what's really wild? It's the extreme ascetic discipline he applies to his personal life. It is such a stark contrast to the massive global power of the companies he runs. We're talking about a guy who walks over 5 miles to work, meditates for up to 2 hours daily, cycles between a blistering sauna and a custom ice bath, eats only one single meal a day, and frequently fasts for 72 hours straight over the weekend. It is an incredibly intense, deliberate conditioning of both the mind and body. Section 3. Reinventing decentralized finance. While leading Twitter, his disciplined focus naturally expanded into democratizing finance. It all started with a simple, real-world frustration. His friend, Jim McKelvey, lost a $2,000 glass art sale just because he couldn't process a credit card. Out of that friction, Square was born in 2009. They created a tiny reader that plugged right into a phone, and overnight, it empowered millions of small businesses. Before Square, only 27% of small businesses accepted cards. Today, that number is well over 60%. And from there, the company, now known as Block, expanded into Cash App, Bitcoin mining, and blockchain infrastructure. He wasn't just building a successful company, he was building systems to reshape entire industries. Which brings us to Web 5. Right now, his company is building Web 5 to correct the flaws of Web 3. So while Web 3 relies on various networks and creating new tokens, Dorsey's Web 5 relies entirely on the Bitcoin blockchain. It uses decentralized identifiers and web nodes to give you, the user, true, total ownership over your data and identity, entirely without the need for alternative cryptocurrencies. This quote right here perfectly captures his long-term conviction. He firmly believes that financial systems absolutely must be as decentralized, open, and accessible as the original internet was always meant to be. Section 4. Unlocking the number profile. Okay. Now that we know the observable what of his incredible journey, let's pivot to the esoteric why. According to the DOSNM's framework, the crucial point in Jack Dorsey's profile is his life path number, which is an 8. In this system, 8 is known as the powerhouse. It signifies a soul destined to learn the satisfactions of the material world and executive power. The number 8 brings massive ambition, independent thinking, and intense executive ability. It is literally the profile of someone meant to build large-scale systems and command a massive influence.
But a Dom's chart also shows vulnerabilities. While he definitely has the extreme drive of an 8, his chart shows what we call missing 9s. This indicates a potential lack of big picture thinking on his own. It suggests he can be prone to impulsiveness and really shouldn't go into business totally alone. And wow, does this validate his biography? He has always co-founded his massive ventures with partners who balance him out, like Evan Williams at Twitter and Jim McKelvey at Square.
Drilling down a bit further, his profile heavily features what's called the 3-5-8 giver combo. This means his core character is incredibly stubborn and fiercely independent, but simultaneously, he's destined to give far more than he receives. His generous nature is meant to build loyal, long-lasting networks around him, always focused on long-term influence rather than short-term popularity. He naturally creates platforms that allow others to speak. And we actually saw this esoteric giver combo manifest in real time. Back in April 2020, he pledged $1 billion, which was a massive portion of his Square equity, to his Start Small initiative for global relief efforts. He literally stated he wanted to see the impact in his lifetime because the global needs were just so urgent. Section 5. Navigating the life graph cycles. Now, let's see how this all builds into the precise timing of his major life events using his Dom's life graph. His life graph tells a really fascinating story. Notice how the pattern climbs directly and rapidly into early success. There's no prolonged low period of preparation before his first huge peak. He hit the peak energy level incredibly early in his timeline. By mapping this out, you can see his upward cycles coincide perfectly with his 20s and 30s. He hit an early peak at age 27 in 2003, right as he was laying the foundation for his tech empire. Then he plateaus at another high peak at age 37. But like many entrepreneurs, his journey isn't a totally straight climb. The graph gives a distinct warning of a sharp falling phase, bottoming out at an energy low of 1 at age 51 in the year 2027. Yet, as his pattern constantly shows, after each difficult, challenging phase comes another powerful period of reinvention. Section 6. Lessons in Relentless Transformation. So looking at both the man and the math, what should we take away from this? First, as an early bloomer on the life graph, Dorsey's journey teaches us how to handle the inevitable down cycles. A falling face on the graph, like the one approaching for him at 51, isn't a failure. It is a necessary, natural arc of release, integration, and reinvention. It's simply a time to rest and recalibrate before the next climb. His life proves that innovation is rarely comfortable. True visionary success requires incredible patience, relentless internal discipline to balance out external chaos, and the humility to recognize your blind spots, and then partner with people who fill those gaps. Whether he's building social networks or financial tech, his career reflects continuous adaptation. You have to be willing to repeatedly adapt your own internal systems and use every single setback as the foundation for your next evolution. Biographies explain what Jack Dorsey has achieved, and entrepreneurship explains how he built it. But through the Dom's number profile and life graph, we gain this whole other perspective that explores the timing, the patterns, and the recurring cycles shaping his remarkable journey. It really leaves us to wonder, what might your numbers reveal about your own hidden patterns and your true potential? I'm Dom, and this is Dom's Nums, where biographies meet numbers, patterns reveal purpose, and every life tells a deeper story. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy discovering the hidden patterns behind extraordinary people.